Hello and welcome to a new video. In this one, I am just going to be talking about some very basic functions. A little bit about inheritance, variables and local variables, structuring a project, and basically just talk about things I feel is good to know for someone that is just starting out with the engine. This video is meant for complete beginners, 100% beginners, so I truly hope I managed to do that this time, and I hope that you will enjoy. Let us start off by talking about structuring and naming conventions. I know this might seem like a boring fucking topic to talk about, and you probably have this idea of skipping ahead now because
I don't need any assistance in this.
I just want to make the new AAA super hit Mega Smash.
okay, no, you gotta crawl before you can walk, and what you currently want to do is run a fucking marathon. But having a clean project where everything is where it's supposed to be and you know where everything is going to make your life so much easier. If you've seen Gordon Ramsay before, you know he preaches that a chef needs to keep his office clean. In this case, your project is your kitchen. Keep it clean and tidy, and I promise you that you will leave a comment down below thanking me in 3 months time when your project is filled with things, but it's all organized. Another quick thing on this subject is naming conventions. I will leave a link down below to what Unreal's assets prefixes should look like. If you ever want someone to work with you or submit your project to the marketplace, having a tidy project and prefixed everything correctly is required. The next one is going to be about variables and local variables, because I do think they are worth a little chat. So a variable is available everywhere on the blueprint it's made in. Whether that is in a function, event graph, constructs, or even called by another separate actor, it's always going to be available and ready to be used. However, a local variable is limited to the specific function it's made in. It is not able to be called upon outside of that particular function, no matter how hard you try, and you are going to want to use locals whenever possible, otherwise your list of variables might become a cluttered mess down the road. This one is another small one and also not a node. It is inheritance. So you basically have child and parent actors, and it is exactly what it sounds like. If you right click on a blueprint, you're able to create child blueprint from that. The child will inherit everything from variables and custom functions to the component it has from the parent, all while being able to be made unique with its own set of custom variables and features. This child can also be right clicked to create a child out of that one, so on and so forth. When dealing with this and casting to a child class, when you try to get class defaults in order to get the variables of it, you will find that it only shows the current class defaults and not anything about the parent. In order to fix this, you drag out from your class defaults, highlight it, and go to the top right onto your details panel. There you're able to enable the missing pins from the parents, and voila, you have access to all the variables. Now let's get into the world of functions. We're only going to be talking about a couple functions, but you're going to use these functions a lot. We'll start off simple by talking about branches. Now, branches are a very simple node that takes a boolean, aka a true or false statement, as the condition and proceeds to go down the line the bool dictates. It's basically a if true, we go down the true path, if false, we go down a false path sort of thing. You're probably going to be using this node a lot, seeing as if-then type of thinking is very linear and straightforward and might make things easier in the beginning. Gotta be a little bit careful though. If you are able to integrate something a little bit more seamlessly than a hard if-then, do that. Even though it might be tricky to find a solution, it most likely exists. You're also able to make the branch cover multiple things at once by using and, not, or bools. These do exactly what it sounds like they do and make your if-then statement a little bit modified to handle several conditions. You also have XOR and, but I'm not even going to pretend that I've ever used those, so we're moving on. The next function we are covering is of course the unbind event from onPreForwardSolve. It's an event that is heavily used in games such as Valorant, Tetris, and I also do believe Pong were reliant heavily on an iteration of that function back in the day. So as you can see, it's a very crucial event that... I can't be serious anymore. Okay, no, I'm just joking. I got no clue what this function does. If you have ever used this one, please let me know in the comments below. Okay, the next one on this list is something you're absolutely going to fall head over heels for, and that is, drumroll please, foreachloop and foreachloop with break. Why are you not yelling with me? Okay, never mind. The foreachloop functions do exactly what they say they do. They loop through an array of, well, anything you want really. It can be as simple as an array of integers or an array of names, or a bit more complex like a structure comprising of 20 different variables. For example, in the inventory systems, having a structure that consists of a variable type master item class and a integer called quantity, we are able to turn that into an array and boom, you technically got your inventory slots created. So as I was saying, the for each functions loop through an array of X, then proceed to do whatever you put in the loop body for each of its passes. Generally speaking, you would use the array element, which is basically whatever is located on that particular index of your array when populating inside the body. For each with break is basically exactly the same as the other one, except for the break part. For each of the passes in the loop body, you are able to break out of the loop, essentially stopping the loop on the current index in order to maybe extract or manipulate the data found on the index. An example of this would be if we were looking for a free slot in an inventory, index 0 to 5, the first 6 slots are all taken, but the 7th is free. You would do a for each with break on your inventory contents array that we made previously, checking if the array element, in this case the item, is valid. If it is, we continue. If it is not valid, so it's an empty slot, we break out and now we have access to the first free index of our array. And also remember your boolean modifiers. If you want this to come out as true instead of false because that feels better for you, then you can add a not bool after your valid check and then plug that in. Once you have gotten a hold of that index, simply use a get node to get the copy at the index and boom, you have extracted the intel from that index. Of course, this also works with the set array element node, which, you guessed it, sets the info at the index you provided. And finally, to finish off the video, we are going to talk a little bit about debugging. Okay, so let's imagine that you've been making something either by yourself or through a tutorial and it just doesn't work. How will you find the cause of why it doesn't work? Well, most of the times it will show up as an error message when something goes horribly wrong, and if it does that, it will tell you exactly what happened and where it happened. If something is not valid, for example, as we talked about earlier, it basically means that the thing is not set yet. Maybe you have created a function in the wrong order, maybe it is dependent on something you haven't created yet, could be many problems. One of the things to remember though is Unreal is linear. It will go from A to Z, stopping by the stops in between. So if you end up at B, but B requires something you are not setting up until you're at C, then B will not work. Sometimes though, it will not show any errors. Everything seems like it should just work, but it doesn't. In this case, I personally use print strings to find where the line stops/fails. I go to the start of where my entire thing that's not working begins, and I print string information as I move my way towards the end. Sometimes just a normal print is fine to see if maybe the cast fails, or if it's not breaking out properly out of the loop, or whatnot. Other times you might want to see if the variable is the correct one. In that case, you can plug the variable directly into the print. If it's a class though, you might want to get the display name first. These are just like a couple of ways that you can debug your project. Okay, I think that is all I'm going to be talking about for today. If you like this video, feel free to leave a like. If you want me to cover another topic or two, please let me know in the comments below. And I hope you are all doing amazingly well. And until next time, I'll see you later. Bye bye.